All content management systems use several programming, markup, and scripting languages, each playing a specific role in the platform's functionality. Because we'll be primarily focusing on WordPress in this class, we will focus on what WordPress uses in regards to languages. Here's a breakdown of the languages used in WordPress: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, MySQL, SQL, XML, JSON, and REST API. In order to really be able to fully customize and utilize the content management system, it will be important that you understand some of the core languages that are used by the CMS. We will be primarily concerned with the languages in the first column. Let's look into these and talk about each one more specifically. HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Its primary role is a markup language. We use HTML to structure the content on the web pages generated by WordPress. It defines the elements on the page, such as headings, paragraphs, images, links, and forms. The output generated by PHP is often in the form of HTML, which is then rendered in the browser. HTML is used to describe the structure of a web page. HTML is made up of elements, and elements are the building blocks of HTML documents. An HTML element usually has a start tag and end tag and the content between the tags. And HTML is really used everywhere across a WordPress website, from the dashboard to the theme that powers the front end. Even plugins make use of HTML to display content. Next, we have CSS, or Cascading Style Sheets. Its role is a styling language. We use CSS to style the HTML elements on a WordPress page. CSS controls the layout, colors, fonts, spacing, and overall design of the website. WordPress themes rely heavily on CSS to define the visual appearance of the site. CSS can do a lot more than just change the color and font size of elements. It can be used to create complex layouts, animations, and much more. Like HTML, CSS is used all across a WordPress website. The dashboard has its own core set of CSS to control its look and feel. Themes will ship with custom sets of CSS to style the theme elements. And plugins that add content to the front end of a website will also use CSS to style that content. WordPress also allows you the flexibility to add your own custom CSS or to use external CSS frameworks. Next, we have JavaScript. JavaScript is a client-side scripting language. We use JavaScript to add interactivity and dynamic features to a WordPress website. These would be things such as animations, form validation, and AJAX requests. JavaScript can be used both on the front end, that's what's in the user's browser, and with the help of technologies like Node.js, we can use it on the server side. WordPress also uses JavaScript libraries and frameworks like jQuery and React.js. JavaScript is used in quite a number of places across a WordPress website. One of the biggest uses of JavaScript is in the new block editor, which is powered by a JavaScript framework called React. There are also a number of external JavaScript libraries that are used in WordPress. Additionally, like with CSS, WordPress allows you the flexibility to add custom JavaScript or external JavaScript libraries to your plugins and themes. PHP, which stands for Hypertext Preprocessor, is a server-side scripting language. PHP is the core language of WordPress. It handles the server-side logic, including interacting with the database, processing forms, managing sessions, and generating dynamic content to be sent to the user's browser. Most of the WordPress's core files, themes, and plugins are written in PHP. PHP is a programming language that is used to create dynamic web pages. According to web statistics, PHP powers over 75% of the modern web. PHP is often used to create administrative interfaces for websites, such as the WordPress dashboard, but it is also used to populate the front end of a website with content. PHP is a server-side scripting language, which means that it is interpreted by the server and the results are rendered in the browser. MySQL is a database management system. WordPress uses MySQL, or sometimes its fork, which is called MariaDB, as its database management system. It uses this to store and retrieve all of the content, user information, settings, and other data required by the platform. SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language, is used to interact with this database. MySQL is one of the most popular database systems for web-based applications. MySQL is an open-source relational database management system. It's used to store data in a database and to retrieve that data when needed. WordPress uses a MySQL database to store all of its data. This data includes things like posts, pages, comments, and users. We can interact with the MySQL database through something called PHPMyAdmin. PHPMyAdmin is a browser-based tool that allows you to interact with your MySQL database using a graphical user interface, but you can also run SQL queries on them. PHPMyAdmin is often included in the control pane of your web host or local development environment. We'll be looking at this a little bit later on within our course. WordPress relies on a combination of several key languages, with PHP, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript being the primary ones. MySQL is used for database management, while XML and JSON facilitate data interchange. Understanding these languages is essential for developing themes, plugins, and custom functionalities in WordPress.